backyard with Office of Future Plans?
The band name is kind of a the band name is appropriated. Well, it's appropriated from a movie, sort of.
Okay.
That movie. Do you remember a movie called In the Loop? It was a TV series, a British TV series too. But basically, it was like The Office, but in the context of like British politics, parliamentary politics, right? Okay. So, and it was a super cynical TV show, and they made it into a film, and they sort of riffed on this in the movie because the movie is about, it sort of tells that story, but it tells it in a fictionalized way.
Okay.
And in the movie, it was this future planning commission. So I read an interview with the director of this movie, and he was talking about, he misquoted Dick Cheney. He called it the Office of Future Plans. But the idea was that if you really want to do something nefarious and evil and like world destroying, and you don't want anybody to know about it in the hallowed halls of government, you give it a really innocuous, boring, bureaucratic name that no one will want to look into ever. And that's what it, so that's where it came from.
Yeah, basically.
I had a dream last night that Dick Cheney was a level 7 vampire. I don't even know what that means, but in my dream it was pretty significant.
That might have,
like in my mind, it was like how metal bands always have really like dismemberer. They're always like really evil, you know. So like the most evil thing that you can do is have a really extremely dull bureaucratic name.
With the record, like, when did you guys record it, and what's the plan? What's coming out?
We recorded it over a period of almost 2 years. Like, yeah, just in bits and pieces as we would. It started out as a few songs that I just had on my own that I was doing to keep myself sane, and I got Darren to come in and play on it, and then a friend of ours kind of prodded us. He prodded us to play a show, but we weren't a band. So Brooks has a workshop in the studio, in my studio, and is an engineer and does stuff there. So he was there. I knew he was awesome. I knew Gordon was awesome. I called everybody up, and I was like, let's do a show.
Great.
And then we just kept going. And the downside is, if you spend 2 years on a record, by the time you're mixing it, at the end of 2 years, you're like, because there was a point where we didn't know Discord was going to put it out, which was like a total godsend, and we didn't kind of know. We were like, should we do a Kickstarter for it? Should we put it out ourselves? When there's no actual end to, I mean, if Discord, if Ian hadn't literally said like, what's going on with your record? Let's put it out. We could still be recording songs. I think if we were trying to sort of go be on a music business style label, it would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
It would be like pretend game, because it's not what any of us wants to do, you know. Whereas we know that, like, if there's anybody in the world that is prepared to just sort of support our band on the terms that we want to do it on, we're extremely lucky to know the people at Discord.
This is your like first tour right now? Is that?
It's not. It's as much of a tour as we'll do.
Yeah.
Because we're not really sort of a. We're not really prepared to throw ourselves onto the fire like we probably were in our 20s.
Yeah.
This man played in a band who toured like 8 months a year. They all lived together. They practiced 6 days a week for 5 hours, 7 hours. 7 days a week for what, 4 hours? 4 hours?
Easily.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
what band was that?
Kerosene.
Oh.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, you know, that's something you might only want to do once in your life. It's if you're of a certain temperament, it's obviously the best thing you could be doing with your time and energy.
Yes.
But when it turns into this all-consuming job, like it's, and you are thinking of it as a job, and it's like a total immersion, and there's like a lot of other things you might also enjoy in your life.
Yeah. That totally gets sidetracked, right?
Right.
Like,
exactly. So it doesn't devalue the principal joy and importance of doing it, but you know what? You don't have to live in a house with your other bandmates and like, you know, be the guy who's on the fucking bathroom cleaning chart this week.
Yeah.
You know, and then like practice for 5 hours and
kind of
have a shitty day job that you hate.